How do you think veterans are looking at what's going on now? Homeless veterans looking at what's going on now, seeing people getting, bed and board, as it were, at the taxpayers' expense when they might be finding it difficult to access housing stock.
It's not a pretty picture for anybody who's in that position. And trust me, I do come across people in that position and do a lot of stuff around the various charities that try and help them. And when I deal with these various charities that try and help them, the main issue they have is there doesn't seem to be a pot of money that they can dip into, or somebody with an official posture who can actually help them too much. And so when they look outside of that and see that, all these other people who've got no right to be here whatsoever, really, are getting help and are getting hotel rooms and are getting this and are getting that and are getting the other, it's going to cause resentment, isn't it? It's not a great position for them to be in.
Look, Phil, I've been talking for quite a while about the idea that I think we're going to be backed into a corner in this country where we have to have the kind of uncomfortable conversation that, frankly, we're having right now, which is very, very black and white terms. Does charity start at home? And the reason why I think we've got there is 1,500 people came across the channel at the weekend. Roughly speaking, around 40,000 that we know of have arrived already this year. Clearly, we're out of room at detention centres. Clearly, we're out of room at hotels. Clearly, we're out of room at social housing stock. People say, well, look, we've got loads of space in this country. Where is it? I can't see any because we're having to maybe talk about tent cities. And at the same time now, Phil, we've got people, like people who've served for Queen and country, who, frankly, cannot get a roof over their heads. Do you think our priorities are wrong?
I think our priorities are totally wrong, yeah. And I do honestly believe that anybody who has served their country, anybody who has paid their taxes here, anybody who has a right to be here from birthright, etc., 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 should be placed in a queue in front of anybody who doesn't. Now, that's not to say that we can't help people out, because I do genuinely believe that some of the people coming across do need help. But you have to put your own people first. And if you're in a position where you can't, then you have to, you've got to seriously look at yourself and ask those questions that you're asking me now, And we can talk about this, and I know what's right, and I think a lot of the majority of the people out there know what's right. But, this is a problem that's been building up for ages. I highlighted this well before COVID. I went over there in a small boat myself, brought it back, and I was mocked by Channel 4. I was mocked for doing this, okay? Yeah. But now they can't get the story out the door quick enough as their biggest deal,
Yeah, exactly. And for ages, people have been saying, well, hang on a minute, I think Britain might be full. And that's been deemed to go, well, actually, what you just don't want is any more migrants, legal or illegal. But that's not the conversation we're having now. We are now finally in a situation where we can legitimately have a conversation about whether or not Britain, when it comes to channel migrants, is full, because we're talking about the fact that we haven't got any room for them. And the charities have shifted. They've gone from saying, well, they're all asylum seekers and refugees. Figures come out about the fact that now loads of them are from Albania and getting involved in the criminal underworld. And then on top of that now, they go, well, OK, well, what we need to do is process them quicker. All right, so we process them quicker. Where do we put them? I mean, I find it a little bit bonkers, Phil, to be honest with you, when it comes to this kind of stuff. And do you think that the vast majority of the British public are now starting to look around and think, well, I would rather look after our homeless military veterans than I would some people that maybe I don't know who they are or where they're from?
I absolutely, 100%. I believe that. I believe that most of the people who come from where I come from would put a veteran in front of anybody. Perhaps maybe women and children, but certainly when it comes to this, a veteran, someone who's served this country, someone who's been the extra mile, somebody who's served in some extremely horrible, disgusting places to make our lives better, to ensure that we sleep well at night, should always go in the front of the queue before someone who hasn't done that for this country. Do you know what I mean? It's a no-brainer, an absolute no-brainer. And don't forget, we do keep finding solutions to this problem. There was the Rwanda thing. We could have sort of even if people didn't like it, we could go, all right, we'll roll with that until we can find a solution. But we didn't. We kiboshed it. Went, no. And all these lunatics jumped up on their horses and went, no, you can't do that. And they stopped it.